Nintendo makes a lot of classics: Mario, Zelda, Star Fox, and technically Pokemon. But one of the most iconic franchises in Nintendo's history is none other than Donkey Kong. It has been over 10 years since we got a new Donkey Kong game, and it took the power of the Nintendo Switch 2 to make Nintendo's vision of the next title in the Donkey Kong series come to life. This is Donkey Kong Bonanza 1 month later. Now, I bring this up a lot, but I did get a chance to play the game early at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. When I got done playing the game, it went from being a game that I was mildly excited for to a game that I was extremely hyped for. The freedom to let me do whatever I wanted felt extremely liberating. It's even more apparent when you get to the full game. There are straight up sections that you can just skip without breaking the game at all. The developers had a great understanding of what makes platformers so fun: freedom and exploration, which makes sense because they're the same team that developed Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. Being able to break everything that looks like it can be broken makes every single playthrough that I see of this game feel unique. I watched some other people play and talked to some friends and was very delighted to hear that they were able to beat a boss in a different fashion than me. And I think that is what makes games fun. The idea that your own gameplay experience can shape your entire perspective of the game and make it feel like it really is a story you're crafting. The general vibe of this game makes me somewhat feel at home. Like when you move out and come back to your childhood room for a week to visit your parents and realize that not much has changed. That's how the vibe of this game feels to me. I played a couple of Donkey Kong games in the past, and while this game does feel like a brand new direction for the series, there's still a lot of the original vibes of the Donkey Kong Country games that are sprinkled in. From the music, character designs, bananas, also bananas, and did I mention the bananas? Regardless, this game feels like Odyssey meets Donkey Kong Country in the best way possible. So one thing that I was kind of afraid of was that the gameplay was going to feel somewhat repetitive. I mean, surface level, you are just a monkey punching walls. But the more that I played this game, the more rewarding the gameplay felt to me. Like, sure, you can just get bananas and call it a day, but you can also collect fossils that give you unique clothing, which also gives you different effects when you interact with the world. You can also use the bananas that you gain to learn new skills, and one of the most important parts is the Bananza power-ups. Now, I won't spoil what happens in the game besides what they've shown from the trailers, but the most fun part about this game was going Bananza mode and just going crazy with all that cool music in the background. And you can get the forms back relatively quickly, so you can kind of keep it going forever if you have the right loadout for the costumes. The only thing I'd really wish was more customizable was the cosmetics for the Bananza forms. It's not that big of a deal, but having my Kong be golden form would be the coolest thing ever. Now, the movement is obviously the most important part of the game, and when I tell you it's smooth, I mean it's smooth like butter. You can roll, spin, surf, fly, run, spring jump, and so much more that it doesn't even feel fair to compare this game to other platformers. The best part of the movement to me also comes from how you can interact with the world by tearing off a piece of that terrain and using it to get leverage or throwing it to make it stick to another piece so you can possibly reach a different part of the map. Anything that you can think of, you can do, and that's what makes this game so damn good. Now, story-wise, I felt like there were some pretty decent parts. I appreciated Pauline's addition as a traveling companion. Not only did she make me care about continuing the story, but the music that she added along with it made it feel lively just to have her there. I enjoyed seeing her grow from being a timid little girl to become confident in her singing ability. The other Kongs were also fun too. Grumpy Kong had a lot of funny dialogue, and fighting his creations every single time was fun and unique. Poppy Kong was just a bad bitch who did what she needed to do, and my favorite Kong of them all was Void Kong. He was probably the coolest because of the monkey knees that they speak. I don't know what the language is, I made that up. And you could tell his voice actor was really about his business. He had so much character in life, and his boss fights just kept lagging my Switch 2 out, which honestly is extremely funny considering this is the first real Switch 2 game to release besides Mario Kart World. Now, overall, Donkey Kong Bonanza is the best game I've ever played from Nintendo specifically, and I don't think it's close. I'm a huge fan of games that are like 20 hours long and don't require constant playtime for me to beat them. it's okay for a game to exist and just be done once the credits roll. And I think this game does a perfect job beginning to end. Now, as a rating, I give this game a 5 out of 5 bananas. This just might be the best platformer to ever exist, and I don't know how Nintendo's going to top this one, but when they do, I'll make sure I'm there.